people are probably saying, well, what's gastrodiplomacy? Well, you've all heard of culinary diplomacy and state dinners because we see that happening in the newspaper, we hear it around the world. But gastrodiplomacy is a part of public diplomacy, which is citizen food diplomacy. So think about food trucks, think about ethnic restaurants, think about the way food is used as a way of integrating into a place and that people themselves can use. And that's a very powerful concept, and it's gotten more and more attention because as people travel more, as people meet new communities, the use of food is the tool that is considered a very important component in this. Working in a time and a space where you have a lot of conflict going on, one of the areas I thought that was most neglected in rebuilding societies was food. We take care of the humanitarian needs, but we really don't look at how food is something that connects people to their homes, to their communities, and to their cultures. And one day I was at a conference at the State Department, and I was talking to a lot of food bloggers, and I realized that what we were really doing was talking about food as a form of soft power, as a way to persuade and to use food as a tool diplomatically in many, many occasions. And that's how I got to the concept of gastrodiplomacy, which is citizen use of food to persuade. One thing I like to do with students who are studying international affairs is to show them who the people are who actually were involved in the conflict, people who were the victims of a conflict. And food is a perfect tool to connect people together. We're very lucky in the Washington metropolitan area because we have diasporas from many wars. And in fact, a former congressman once said you could always tell where America was at war by what restaurants opened. And actually, that's the premise on which I built this course, that you could teach students about anything from the conflict in Vietnam to the wars in Afghanistan to the Central American conflicts to people fleeing Ethiopia by the restaurants. And I use this as a way to show students that not only could they study these conflicts, but they could also taste the food that people left or the people were preparing, because the people who were preparing these foods were also educating the public about what their homeland tasted like. Well, first, they're going to get a wonderful international lunch that features the foods of many of these conflict countries. This is a longer program than the other luncheons because there'll be a conversation about the power that food has in bringing communities together, the power that it has to bring people together. So that it is something valuable for people who are educators, people working on campuses, to understand more about not only what we take for granted that we have to eat 3 times a day, but what we can do with what we do 3 times a day as an educational tool to get foreign students particularly integrated into campus life.